Hello, I'm Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Talking to you today from my car as I'm waiting for my granddaughter to get out of school. And I wanted to talk to you today about scars. Scars are sometimes a thing that we want to hide. And I imagine that everybody has a scar somewhere. I have lots of scars. I have two on my face. They're really little. I have one on my forearm. I have one on my knee. I have one on another part of my leg and different places, and one on my hand here. And I imagine everyone has scars. And sometimes we have a tendency to hide them. We can feel ashamed of them, like they make us ugly or something. But I had a devotional I was doing this morning, and they were talking about how they were calling the scars beauty marks, actually. And it's really changing the way that you look at it by doing it like that. It was just so fascinating to me because she brought up the whole thing about, Jesus and his hands and his feet after he rose from the dead. And when he appeared to his disciples, he didn't just say, "Hi, here I am," or something like that, but he pointed to his hands and to his feet, which must have meant that he had scars there. Or some artists portrayed that he had holes there. I don't know. I loved how this person with the devotional said, "I don't know what glorified bodies look like." I don't either. But she was talking about how Jesus had scars and how she didn't think that he had to keep his scars. And I was like, yeah, I kind of feel that way too. He's like God. He doesn't have to keep his scars. He rose from the dead. Why would he have to keep his scars? And how he had been beaten so badly. And then I was wondering if he had scars all over his body and not just his hands and feet and his side. Because when Stephen didn't believe that he had raised from the dead, and so he said, unless I see those things, see the scars in his hands and his feet, and put my hand in his side, I won't believe. And people pick on Thomas too about that. And I love what the Lord showed me about that is, people pick on him, doubting Thomas like he's this awful person. Well, we doubt all the time. We have a hard time believing stuff. Took me 34 years for God to convince me that he loved me. But how did Jesus respond to this? He didn't say, "Oh, screw you, Thomas, you didn't believe." No. He came and he showed himself to Thomas. He met Thomas where he was at and showed him his scars. And we all have scars, so how do we look at them? And I was thinking about that today because she was talking about being proud of our scars. And I have some scars on my body that when I think of what they're from, I don't get pride from them. But I could see how other people get pride from, not the bad kind of pride, but a good kind of pride. I have a friend, she's been through esophageal cancer, and she said she's very, very proud of her scars. Well, I can appreciate that. That means I fought, I won. I mean, there's a real good point to that. But then I was thinking about even my scars that maybe I'm not proud of how I got them. What we can do with our scars, whether they can be a source of, self-satisfaction and good kind of pride in ourselves, they can also be like a roadmap. They can say, oh, I remember that, and we can maybe get a lesson from it or remember something good from it. Like I have two little bitty scars on my face, one next to my mouth and one up near my eye. And unless I told you, you wouldn't see them. And that's because I was bitten by a dog in my face when I was 4 years old. And I remember, walking home, the mom of my friend, because my neighbor's dog bit me in the face. And I remember her walking me home, and I had a white blouse on. Yeah, a blouse. That's what they called them back then. And it was just covered in blood. I was bleeding so bad. And my mom took me to the doctor. And remembering those scars, I always remember the kindness of this doctor. Here I am, a little girl, 4 years old, with two big holes in her face. And instead of sewing up my face, he said, if I give her stitches, she's going to have big scars on her face, and I don't want to do that to her. And so he did butterfly closures on my face. I don't know how that worked or anything, but I have two little bitty scars, and I remember the kindness of that doctor every time I see those little scars. So if you have a scar that maybe what you did, you don't like what you did, how you got that, or maybe you can be really proud of yourself, I want to encourage you to think about how you view your scars. Like I have another one on my hand here because I fell last year riding my bicycle on a bridge, on a wooden bridge, and as I fell, I tried to catch myself on the bridge, which was not smart, and I ripped my hand open with the wood. I mean, just tore it open. And what I remember from this scar is two things. I remember how the neighbors just came running. My husband was with me. The neighbors came running to come around me, and they took my bike home, and my husband took me to the doctor, but they just surrounded me with such love. And the second thing I remember about it is that seemingly small incident traumatized me. And I speak about trauma and how trauma is personal. And there are those who would think that would be stupid, that was traumatizing to me. Well, trauma is not something you do intentionally. And that's something I say, and when I go through it, I need to remind myself too. And how did I know that? Because when I would lay down to go to sleep or try and take a nap or something, I had flashbacks. And I was ripping open my hand over and over and over again. That's trauma. We don't choose to be traumatized, but we can choose to heal. And so I want to encourage you to think about how you view your scars, to look at them in a positive light, either that you can be proud of yourself of what you've overcome, or you can remind yourself of a lesson that you learned, or how you overcame something after the fact, or whatever positive way you can use to take those scars and turn them into something positive, because they can be. It's all about how we think about it, because we can choose to heal and choose our attitude. And so with that, I want to say I love you, and I'll see you again next time. Mwah.